Let me make it simple for you. Just do as I say. Honestly, we should just fire all of them and hire a bunch of robots. My bosses, the company, just totally disinterested in what I have to say. Those are just 3 examples of when organizational hierarchy is abused or not used wisely. So let's talk about when organizational hierarchy is inefficient. As with most things in life, there are 2 sides to organizational hierarchy. It can be and should be a strong framework by which we make business decisions and implement those decisions to be successful. And then the flip side is when it is abused. And frankly, that just becomes a power play. So let's talk about some of the inefficiencies of organizational behavior. Let's talk about command and control, for example. Now, there are instances where command and control is essential. Military is probably the best example I can think of. Or when there's an emergency and you just need to go. But all too often we slip into that command and control, hierarchically driven mindset when we would be better off using collaboration and implementation. Whether the size of our workforce is 2 or 200 or 20,000 or 200,000, collaboration and implementation maximizes that resource by drawing everybody in. Whereas command and control is very cut and dried, and there is no room for conversation and consequently engagement lessens. And you're not getting the best out of your workforce because you're not getting their collective knowledge. What I have often found to be true is the knowledge in the workforce amazes me. Often they know things about the work that I had no clue about. Now, if you're in a command and control situation, just do it. You're not fully optimizing that knowledge. But if you're collaborating and then implementing and drawing people in, then you're really in a maximum situation. And let's think about engagement. Everyone wants to increase workforce engagement, right? And justifiably so. But if you're in a command and control situation and you're not allowing people to input, then by default, you are disengaging those people. Now let's talk about those various layers within a corporate hierarchy and how often those can be abused to the disadvantage of everyone involved. This is what the abuse of that hierarchy looks like. And let's start with people who, let's just say, senior leaders or leaders within the company. The most common inefficiency that I've seen over and over again is, I'm the manager, I'm the boss, and whether I've been in my job for 2 days or 25 years, I just know better. Boy, let me tell you, that's setting yourself up for failure. Or, I'm a senior leader, so that means by default I just must be more talented. Yeah, not necessarily so. Or, I'm a senior leader and I work harder than anybody else. Well, let's check that assumption. Those are just a few examples of privilege associated with status within the corporate hierarchy, and they really don't serve anybody very well. Conversely, let's look at those who are not part of leadership. You know what? The same dynamics occur, only they sound a little bit different. They sound something like, well, leadership certainly doesn't understand what I have to go through. Again, may not be true at all. In no way does leadership care about us. Why should my boss care? They make way more money than I do. I've seen enough compensation sheets to tell you that may not always be the case. Whether you're in leadership or not in leadership, if we start to make assumptions by individuals based upon their levels in the corporate hierarchy, many times those assumptions are not truthful, and they lead to lack of trust and continuing disengagement. So, how do we solve? Because if you have these dynamics going on in your organization, it really is time for a cultural change, and that is never easy. But it seems to me that there are two top-line tenets that we should pay attention to. The first point of alignment is that up and down that organizational hierarchy, that there is authentic trust for everyone in the organization. Trust that the truth will be told. Trust that the truth will be listened to. Trust that leaders know that they are there to support the organization, and that the organization knows that they are there to drive the mission. That trust cannot be just a statement that is sent out to everybody. It can't just be a core value thing that sounds nice but then isn't lived. It has to be lived rigorously, by example, every single day. And only when that trust is secured can we move to the second point, and that is align everyone to what the true mission of the organization is, so that everybody feels organically, authentically motivated to team together and to move forward. If we abuse organizational hierarchy, if we just treat it as something as a matter of privilege that then circumvents collaboration and implementation, then organizational hierarchy is highly ineffective because you are not making the best use of all of your resources. Conversely, if you use that organizational hierarchy as a framework to get things done, a framework in which there is genuine, authentic trust and a common alignment to a mission, you'll be truly amazed at what can be accomplished. If you enjoyed this, please share it, please subscribe and hit that like button. I offer individual and group coaching on how to make the workplace more satisfying and more effective. If you are interested, my contact information is in the description. Thank you.